Ever wondered how one man could stand up to the most powerful empire on earth and win? This isn't just a story, it's a saga of faith, power, and liberation that has echoed through millennia. We're diving deep into the epic tale of Moses, a man chosen by God to free his people from centuries of brutal slavery in Egypt. It's a story of courage against tyranny, of divine intervention against human arrogance, and it all begins with a voice from a burning bush. Imagine this. You're living as a slave. Your every waking moment is spent in grueling labor under the scorching sun, building monuments for a king who sees you as less than human. Your people have been in bondage for 400 years. Hope is a distant memory, a forgotten luxury. This was the reality for the Israelites in Egypt, but in the grand, cosmic scheme of things, a plan was already in motion. A baby, set adrift in a basket on the Nile to escape a death sentence, is found and raised by the Pharaoh's own daughter. That baby was Moses. Moses grows up in the splendor of the Egyptian court, a prince of the very empire that oppresses his people. But his destiny was not to rule Egypt, it was to defy it. After a dramatic turn of events forces him to flee into the desert, he spends decades as a humble shepherd. It's here, in the quiet solitude of the wilderness, that he has a world-changing encounter. God speaks to him from a bush that burns but is not consumed, giving him an impossible mission. Go back to Egypt, confront the mighty Pharaoh and demand, "Let my people go." So Moses, along with his brother Aaron, returns to the land of his birth. He stands before Pharaoh, a man considered a living god by his subjects, and delivers the message. Pharaoh's reaction? He laughs. He scoffs at this desert shepherd and his unseen god. In his arrogance, Pharaoh not only refuses, but also increases the Israelites' workload, making their suffering even more intense. He thinks he has won. He has no idea what's coming. This is where the story shifts from a political confrontation to a divine showdown. God decides to demonstrate his power in a way that Egypt and the world would never forget. He unleashes a series of 10 calamities, 10 plagues, each one targeting a specific aspect of Egyptian life and, more importantly, a specific Egyptian god. It's a systematic dismantling of a pantheon, a divine declaration of war. The first plague. Moses and Aaron go to the Nile River, the lifeblood of Egypt, worshipped as the god Hapi. Aaron strikes the water with his staff and instantly, the entire river turns to blood. The fish die, the water becomes undrinkable, and a stench fills the land. For 7 days, Egypt is without its primary water source. Pharaoh's magicians manage to replicate this on a small scale, so his heart remains hard. He dismisses it. A fluke, perhaps. But this was just the opening act. Next, the plague of frogs. They swarm out of the bloodied Nile, covering every inch of Egypt. They're in the houses, in the bedrooms, in the ovens. It's a slimy, croaking nightmare. Pharaoh, unable to stand it, begs Moses to pray to his God to take the frogs away. He even promises to let the Israelites go. Moses agrees, and the next day the frogs die. But as soon as the relief comes, Pharaoh's promise evaporates. His heart hardens once again. The pattern is set. The third plague, gnats or lice. Dust turns into swarms of tiny, biting insects that crawl over people and animals. This time, Pharaoh's magicians are stumped. They tell him this is the finger of God. But Pharaoh refuses to listen. His pride won't let him. Then comes the fourth plague. Swarms of flies. These aren't just ordinary flies. They are thick, buzzing clouds that fill the homes of the Egyptians. But here's a crucial detail. The land of Goshen, where the Israelites live, is completely untouched. God is drawing a clear line in the sand, showing that he is protecting his people. Still, Pharaoh negotiates, backtracks, and ultimately refuses. The plagues now escalate in severity. The fifth plague strikes the livestock. A mysterious disease kills the Egyptians' horses, donkeys, camels, cattle, and sheep. Yet again, not a single animal belonging to the Israelites is harmed. The economic toll on Egypt is mounting, but Pharaoh's stubbornness is unyielding. The sixth plague gets personal. Moses throws soot from a furnace into the air. and it becomes a fine dust that settles on the Egyptians, causing festering boils to break out on their skin. The pain is immense, affecting everyone, including Pharaoh's own magicians, who can't even stand before Moses because of their sores. Egypt is in agony, but Pharaoh's heart is described as being hardened by the Lord. He is now locked in a battle of wills he cannot win. The seventh plague is a terrifying spectacle. God sends a storm of hail unlike anything ever seen in Egypt. Fire is mixed with the ice, and it thunders down from the sky, destroying crops, shattering trees, and killing anyone or anything caught outside. Once more, the land of Goshen is spared. A terrified Pharaoh summons Moses, admits his sin, and promises to let the people go. But the moment the storm stops, his resolve melts away, and he breaks his word. The devastation continues. The eighth plague, locusts. A wind brings a swarm so dense it darkens the sky. They devour everything the hail left behind, every leaf, every blade of grass. The land of Egypt, once a lush, green jewel of the ancient world, is now a barren wasteland. The nation is on its knees. Pharaoh's own officials beg him to give in, to save what little is left of their country. He almost does, but his pride wins out again. The ninth plague is perhaps the most psychologically terrifying. For 3 days, a supernatural darkness blankets the land of Egypt. It's a darkness so profound, so thick, it could be felt. People couldn't see each other. They couldn't even move from their places. It's a complete shutdown of society. Imagine the fear, the isolation. And through it all, in the homes of the Israelites in Goshen, there is light. The message couldn't be clearer. The God of the Israelites controls the very sun that Pharaoh's chief god Ra supposedly commanded. Pharaoh, enraged and cornered, threatens Moses with death if he ever sees his face again. Moses agrees, knowing the final, devastating blow is about to fall. This brings us to the 10th and final plague, the most tragic and decisive of all. God warns Moses that at midnight he will pass through Egypt, and the firstborn son in every Egyptian household will die. From the firstborn of Pharaoh himself, heir to the throne, to the firstborn of the lowest servant, and even the firstborn of the cattle, no one would be exempt. But God provides a way of escape for the Israelites. This is the origin of the Passover. Each Israelite family is instructed to take a perfect, unblemished lamb, sacrifice it, and paint its blood on the doorposts of their homes. When the angel of death passes over Egypt that night, it will see the blood and pass over those houses, sparing the firstborn inside. They are to eat the lamb in haste, with their cloaks tucked in and sandals on their feet, ready to leave at a moment's notice. That night, a great cry echoes throughout Egypt. In every home without the blood on the door, a family is mourning the loss of their firstborn son. The Bible says there was not a house where someone was not dead. Pharaoh's own son, his heir, is gone. The national grief is unimaginable. The power of Egypt is broken. The pride of Pharaoh is shattered. This time, it's over. A broken Pharaoh summons Moses and Aaron in the middle of the night. He doesn't just permit them to leave, he begs them to go. "Go, worship the Lord as you have requested," he says. "Take your flocks and your herd, and go. And also, bless me." The king who thought he was a god is now asking for a blessing from the servant of the one true God. The Egyptians, desperate for the Israelites to leave, load them up with silver, gold, and clothing just to get them out of their devastated land. After 430 years to the very day, the nation of Israel, some 600,000 men plus women and children, walks out of Egypt. They are no longer slaves. They are a free people, marching toward a promised land. This story, the Exodus, is more than just an ancient legend. It's the foundational story of freedom for an entire people. It's a powerful narrative about the struggle between oppression and liberation, the clash between human pride and divine power. The 10 plagues weren't just random disasters. They were calculated strikes, divine judgments that proved the God of a slave nation was more powerful than all the gods of the mightiest empire on earth. It's a story that has inspired countless movements for freedom and justice throughout history. A timeless reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope can dawn, and chains can be broken. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey through one of history's most epic stories. If you found this as fascinating as I do, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you do not miss our next deep dive into history's most compelling tales. See you in the next video.